Have you ever turned your camera on, went to the menus, and think, oh my goodness, there's no way in the world I'm going to learn all these menus? Once you get into your camera, you get into your menu system, and you start scrolling around. And there's cameras, there's wrenches, there's icons that look like networks, there's menus upon menus upon menus, and you think, there's no way I can learn all of this. But I'm here to help you. Camera menus are not that complicated. They really aren't. The couple things you want to think about when it comes to camera menus. Why do we have them? Number one. Number two, who created these menus? The menus were created by humans, just like me and you. They had to decide where to put things, and they create icons along the top or down the side, depending on your camera. And each item has more settings underneath those, and they try to categorize them. So when you start looking for a setting, don't get flustered. Don't get overwhelmed by the menu. If you're wanting to change something on how the camera works, it's going to be under a configuration for settings that are similar. If you want to change how the LCD looks or behaves, it's going to be under a different. So if you want to change the LCD, you're not going to be under the network settings. It's as simple as that. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. I'm not here telling you have to memorize every setting, every menu item, because guess what? I haven't done that, and neither has any other professional photographer. I guarantee you there are settings they never will use or care to use, and you will be the same way. So you'll be playing with different settings. You will learn where those are. So let's play with a few settings that you do need to know and every photographer has to use. Some settings every photographer has to use. That's aperture, shutter speed, ISO. Those are buttons or knobs on your camera somewhere. The button to take a picture. Heaven forbid if that was in a menu somewhere. It's a button on your camera. The on-off switch is on a switch on the camera. So the things that are on switches and knobs and buttons, those are settings that almost every photographer has to use at one point in time or other. So that's what those are for. The menu, on the other hand, are things that we don't leverage every day. So it goes into a menu system so we don't clutter the body with a ton of buttons. Hopefully you can't hear my dog bark. He likes to bark when the UPS man comes. But let's look at the back of the camera, and we're going to focus on formatting our SD card because we just got a brand new camera. Turn the menu on, and we're going to scroll over to where the camera settings are, and that's underneath the wrench. Once I get to the wrench, I probably went around backwards, and when we get to that spot, we're going to get all the way to the first menu from the wrench. We'll scroll down, find format. If you have more than one memory card, if you're going to have to do this twice, if you only have one memory card, you pick that card, you choose format. Make sure you have backed up any photos before you do this, though. If you got two memory cards, make sure you select the second memory cards, and hopefully they're the same size so that they will go together nicely. Make sure you format both cards. So the next thing we're going to look at is whether we want JPEG or RAW. So it's not going to be under the setting. It's going to be more how the image looks like. So it's going to be under the camera icon on your menu. So let's take a look at that. So we start navigating just like we did before. We were on format, so I'm going to go back the same direction I came from to get to the image quality and select that. And you can either choose JPEG or RAW. All right, this next setting is real important. If you want to learn composition, you'll have heard the rule of thirds, where you basically put a tic-tac-toe screen or imagine it on your screen. Well, we're going to turn it on so you don't have to imagine it. You can use the rule of thirds to get better compositions where you line up things that are the main subject on one of those four lines or even one of those four corners. But stick with me on this. There's actually a bonus one that most people don't know about. We're going to learn how to turn it on for the LCD, but also on the LCD when we preview the photos after we've taken them, like post view. So let's go back to my menu again, and we are looking at the display. So we're going to come down to shooting info display. We're going to scroll down the grid display. It's off by default. There's multiple choices to choose from. You can get a little busy with the all grids and the crisscross, but just let's stick with rule of thirds right now for the 3x3. So that's pretty awesome. But that's just why you're looking through. But let's say we wanted to look at our rule of thirds after we take the photo. So we're going to go over to another menu. In this case, we're going to get all the way over to the play button, I believe. Yes, we're on a play button. We're going to scroll down until we find the information that's going to allow us to see the grid on that playback. So there's play grid is off, set it to 3x3. Voila, you'll see that both when you're taking the photos and when you're previewing the photos after they've been shot. Okay, just like the other one, this setting got me really excited once I finally discovered it. This is one of those settings that you go, man, I wish my camera did this. Well, it does. If you've taken many photos and you turn your camera at a sideways so it's a vertical, and then when you look at the preview after, it's skinny and you got all this wasted real estate on both sides. Well, we're going to change that. It's a simple setting, and by default, it's not in the way I want it to be. And just like the other settings, this is in the menu system. It's not on a knob, so let's look at the menu. We want to see what it looks like after. So we're going to go close to the same place we were, go to the playback, and we are going to scroll down. Actually, it's not in the playback. There's auto rotate is off by default. You can turn it on for the computer and the camera. I choose both the camera and the computer. It's off by default. That way, when I look at the back of the camera, yeah, it'll be sideways, but it'll fill the full LCD. It won't just be half the LCD with a vertical photo in the middle of it. Pretty awesome, don't you think? If you're getting value out of this, hit the like and subscribe. I appreciate it. So a big takeaway is you don't need to know what every menu item does. You don't even need to know where every item is. But when you want to try a new feature, hopefully you won't be intimidated if you can't find it on a knob or a dial, but you'll be willing to open up the menu systems and start navigating through. One caveat I have not told you about on the menus, and this confused me for a long time, is if you're an aperture priority, shutter priority, or manual mode or automatic, you will get different sets of menus depending on what you're in. For example, automatic has much less features that you can manage with the menu because you're an automatic. You don't get to choose some things. They're automatically chosen for you. So if you're looking for a setting and you know it was under this menu, check what mode you're in. It might be in a different place. If this video has helped you feel more confident with your camera and your menus, hit the like and subscribe. I also have a newsletter. There'll be the first link down below in my description. Click on that. Subscribe to my newsletter where I share this video and other videos, and I follow it up with a blog post as well. So you can watch this on a video, a newsletter item, which will be a much short version, or a blog post with a lot of details. My name is Doug Average, and I'm practicing photography, getting better one photo at a time.